Would you take a huge promotion if it meant giving up on a mission that was of great importance to you and to the people around you? You wouldn't if you were a leader of character, competence, and conviction. I want to tell you a true parable today about a man who epitomizes all three of these things in his leadership. His name is Christopher Columbus. Now I know he's a controversial figure, and he actually didn't set out to find the New World. He set out to find Japan by traveling west. It just so happened that there was a giant piece of land in the way, which he discovered. But putting that aside, he has some of the things in his DNA that make him a good example of character, competence, and conviction. First off, because of his character and his conviction, he did pass up a huge promotion. On his way to the New World, as it turns out, he had to stop in the Canary Islands. Now, the Canary Islands was ruled by a queen who had been exiled there. She was exiled there by Queen Isabella of Spain because she suspected that she had been flirting with her husband, King Ferdinand. Well, this queen met Columbus and said to him, "Why don't you stay in the Canary Islands and become the admiral of my navy?" Wow, what a great promotion. A lot more money, a lot more fame, a lot more notoriety. Columbus said straight away, "Thanks, but no thanks. I'm on a mission, and I'm going to stick to what I've set out to do." He also had conviction in that he was deeply connected to the work that he was doing. He was totally animated by the idea of discovering new things, new lands, charting new courses, navigating new ways. He was very interested in the natural world, and so he was completely connected to what he was about. There was a good alignment between who he was and what he was doing. This was part of his conviction. There's even an entry in his journal that he wrote after he discovered some of the New World. He wrote this: "I am detained," get that word, detained, "by the sheer pleasure and delight as I see and marvel at the beauty and freshness of these countries that he discovered." At times, Columbus also displayed great character when he was discovering the New World. He told his men on occasion, "Don't steal from the people that we meet there, and don't get involved in their internal affairs." That was actually a pretty enlightened view for somebody of his age. Columbus was also a competent person, a scholarly person. He had a huge library, and some of it remains today. In the parts that we've been able to recover, we find that he had made copious notes in the margins of his books. It indicates to us that he was engaged with the scholars of his day, and he truly was a Renaissance man. He brought all of that with him on his journeys. And finally, Columbus had character and competence because he understood family systems theory 500 years before Murray Bowen and Edmund Friedman did. It turns out that on the voyage, the first leg of it, on the way to the Canary Islands, the family system of his voyage was taken over by anxiety. And one of the ships in his flotilla, the Pinta, developed rudder problems at open sea. With calm waters, which means plenty of opportunity to fix them, for 2 days, the crew of the Pinta was unable to fix the ship's rudders. Columbus began to suspect that maybe sabotage was at work. Perhaps the men were so anxious about taking this unknown voyage and this risky venture that they weren't really working that hard on fixing the ship. He was probably right. He made a very competent entry into his journal. He wrote, "I have to come to accept that there are some things that I cannot control." He couldn't control their anxiety. He couldn't control their ability or willingness to fix their own ship. And so he made a really smart move. He told them, "You know what? I'm going to keep going to the Canary Islands. I hope you can fix your ship and follow after me. I'll wait there for a certain amount of time, but then I'm going to keep going on my voyage of exploration. If you catch up with me, great. If you don't catch up and you don't fix your ship, have a great time going back to Spain." So Columbus detached from his ability or inability to fix what was going on and kept going with his mission, with his conviction. And all three of them come together. He got to the Canary Islands, and 2 days later, lo and behold, in steams the Pinta with her crew ready to go on the voyage. Now, Columbus was not a perfect man. Nobody was a perfect man except one man. But he did exemplify very well the ideas of character, competence, and conviction in a leader. Now I ask you this, one last thing. What could the people of God do with the Spirit at our side and equipped with character, competence, and conviction? Thank you.